At the desk, I'm joined by Deborah Magid, who's the Director of Software Strategy at IBM's Venture Capital Group. So good to have you with us.
It's a deep pleasure.
As I was explaining to you off air, I read IBM and Venture Capital. I thought, what's this technology company doing now with venture capitalism? But clearly there's a connection.
We've been doing it for quite a while, and it's becoming a more popular thing for other corporations to do, because what you really want to do is look for innovation anywhere it can be found. So we spend billions every year on research and development, but out in the marketplace, other people are spending more, and people are inventing and creating wonderful things, and you want to know about them.
So this venture capitalist initiative, where are you investing and what kind of innovations are you investing in?
Well, we're not investing directly into startups. We're investing in programs for entrepreneurs. And we have some here in Africa, which we can talk about later. And we also have some really wonderful benefits to startups who join our programs: free software, free cloud computing, and I personally have relationships with investors all over the world. So my job is to connect the outside world of investment and entrepreneurship with IBM's business units, and to do that in a way that's strategic for everybody involved.
Kenya is often known as the technology hub on the continent. Is that the case when it comes to the initiatives that you've rolled out and the investments that you've made?
Well, we actually have some very tight connections in several countries in Africa. I was at the GES summit in Morocco in the fall that the U.S. government put on with the king, and then the GES in Nairobi last month. And so there are certainly tech hubs in Africa in many different places. The truth is, while Kenya and Nigeria are on this high growth path, South Africa is still the strongest, most mature market for things like that.
Precisely. That's good to hear.
Yes,
you are from
that is good news.
It is good news, and maybe there needs to be more convergence and interchanging of skills and abilities and even ideas there. And you actually have an example of such a company that you invested in and has done wonders across the globe.
Yes, there's a company called Mode, M-O-D-E. The founders, there's two gentlemen. One lives in Johannesburg, one lives in Nairobi, and they created this company together to allow anybody with a prepaid phone card to borrow on it and to top it up without necessarily having any money change hands. They can pay it back when they need to. These guys had a background in credit scoring, and so they know how to assess risk and know how to treat people and know very well what the African market is like and what kind of ecosystem to build around their own business. They won an IBM business plan competition that was held in Cape Town a couple of years ago.
Wow. And
I have a beautiful photograph of them shaking hands with Mayor Bloomberg because they won the global finals in New York and beat out companies from 20 countries around the world.
Oh my goodness. What does that tell us, though, about the level of technological innovation on the continent? Given the fact that you're from Silicon Valley, you've got a nice comparison to actually make.
Yes, that's very true. Well, I think there are a few things that have happened around the world, but also on the continent in the last few years that make it possible for technology to be deployed in ways that it wasn't before, and to do things you couldn't do before. There's broadband communications now. You have cables across Africa. You can actually use a cloud. You can actually send information. You can have data centers and analyze the data that's flowing through. And so there are innovations that have happened that make it possible to do new things.
Fantastic. So we certainly can be confident about the innovative sphere on the African continent.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time today, and we wish you all the best in your endeavors and hope that more innovative solutions do come up for the venture
I'm sure they will. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Well, that was Deborah Magid, who's the Director of Software Strategy at IBM's Venture Capital Group.